made of seeing his comments in the last couple of weeks, and he also says that this fight isn't going to happen, according to Chris Senior.
But you know what it is? I don't really like that, because at the end of the day, as much as, like, you know, I've got nothing against the Eubank. So I just wish that they were both together, had their heads together. Regardless of that, I think it's the wrong thing to start running down your son-in-law, things like that. Because I think when you do, you open it up. They both should have got their heads together, get together. Regardless of whatever gone on, you got one dad. One dad. Regardless whatever went on, they should put it to bed, mate. Because it's a family affair. It should be Eubank Senior, Eubank Junior against Ben Senior and Ben Junior. I would have loved that. I wish that they could make things up, mate.
Nigel, he's so against the weight difference. So he says he's so against the weight difference. Conor coming up and him coming down.
Okay, did we say anything about when Canelo went all the way up to light heavy? Did we? Or Manny Pacquiao went out about friggin' 6 weights? What's he talking about? Is it because, like, you know, he's not in the public eye? That he's got to make something that doesn't really add up? You know, sorry. My girls with me, you know what I mean? I have my girls with me.
My girls
with me. You know, and I just feel like, you know, I just wish that they were together. I just wish that they were together, Eubank Senior and Junior, because, I mean, it's sad for me. You know what I mean? I just wish they were together, because it's a family affair. You know, when he brought his son up the right way, and, you know, to see him like the way that they are, it's not good. I just wish them all the best. I hope they put their heads together and work things out.
Those are the words of Nigel Benn as he responds to Chris Eubank Jr.'s comments of not actually being a factor. Man, that really just threw me off. I hate when that happens. But anyway, not really being in his son's corner. And I think what people don't understand about Chris Eubank Jr. is, you know, Junior is the one that has to fight, not Senior, you know, and you don't really know, honestly, how that affects Junior. You know, we talk about, he doesn't want the fight to happen. It's not going to happen. That's what Chris Eubank Jr. says. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're talking about this unfairness in the rehydration, and, you know, because Chris Eubank Jr. can't be over 170 pounds, which we've seen Conor Benn blow up past 170. So it's kind of unrealistic, you know, and it really siphons the performance of a fighter not being able to rehydrate, you know. So I think what people need to understand, and with Chris Eubank Sr., and Junior, they do need to get it together. I don't know what happened, you know, and sometimes when someone passes, people that are still here fall out. It's crazy. You know, I know people after so-and-so died, they never spoke to each other again, or for many, many years. Then you start thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, that's who you got left. So why are you doing the opposite? You know, you should actually come together, you know, in times of someone departing, especially a tragic situation like Sebastian had, you know, and they fell out after that. And Nigel was just like, well, hey, you know, he's making up stuff. I don't think that Chris is making up anything, honestly. I don't think he's making up anything. I think, you know, they paid Chris Eubank Jr. For that rehydration. He wasn't going to do it free, and they paid him. They paid him for it. So he can't be over 170 pounds. He can't be 10 pounds over that limit of 160. Okay, because they made sure that they paid him a certain amount of money to get that way. Now the question is, why do you think they would be willing to pay? Because it benefits Conor Benn. Okay, not Chris Eubank Jr. It's kind of like the same as it was 2.5 years ago when they supposed to fought. Because I think it was at that time 157. And 157 for Chris Eubank Jr., you know, he's not a small dude. You know, he's a pretty tall guy. For you to to deplete him of the fluids that he needs is not healthy. You know, but I think at this time he's just doing it for the money. You know, but the problem is I like to see someone at their 100, not at their 67 or 68%. I want to see them, you know, I want to see how they are able to perform at their best. Not, hey, well, can you trim something off the top, or can you take this away, or can you take that away? I don't want to see that with any fighter because it stifles the performance of the fighter. It hinders it, absolutely. So if Chris Eubank Jr. goes in there and gets blown out coming in at 160, whatever, 8, and he still hasn't hydrated to the level or the limit for him to be his best, and he gets beat, you're going to always wonder that, and he did it all for what? A check. You know what I mean? And if that was the case, I wouldn't want to retire from Chris Eubank Jr. if I get my ass whooped knowing that I had those type of stipulations against me. You know, why would I retire? You know, because Conor beat me? Well, Conor's not that big either, is he? He's not naturally 160. Chris Eubank Jr. is. But Chris Eubank Jr. can't naturally rehydrate like any other fighter at 160 would do. You see what I mean? So back to Nigel. Nigel, you know, he spoke his piece about, hey, I think that that they should get back together, which I feel the same way too. I don't think that they I don't know why they would fall out. I don't, you know what I mean? Because there's no real, true, legitimate reason why that happened. You see what I mean? But nonetheless, you guys tell me what you think of Nigel Benn's response to Chris Eubank Sr. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.